It is a tradition at Victoria that the last of the formal speeches is given by one of our newest graduates. The address, given on behalf of all graduates, is delivered by a student who stood out in their time at Victoria by exemplifying the qualities we seek to instil in our graduates. This afternoon's address will be given by Tim Smith, who's graduated with a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in Classical Studies, International Relations and Italian. Tim is currently working at Victoria as a peer writer for Student Learning Support Services and is studying towards a Bachelor of Arts with honours, majoring in Classical Studies. Tim has a strong interest in European languages, and in the future he would like to focus on literary translation studies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Smith to give the graduate address.
University staff, fellow students, friends and family, thank you very much indeed. In a few years' time, looking back on this memorable afternoon, you may be a little nostalgic, reminiscing wistfully about the celebration and recognition of a tremendously enjoyable and fulfilling period of your life. However, I don't think anyone will go away from graduation feeling disappointed that the ceremony was too short. As such, I will try my best to make this address as brief as possible, since I'm sure you're all itching to get out of here. So first and foremost, it is my duty as graduate speaker to thank those who have been instrumental in providing us with this education. I'm sure each of us here has had a lecturer or tutor who has inspired us in some way during our time studying at Victoria. Indeed, that teacher may well be seated here behind me. There are certainly some here today who have inspired me and continue to inspire me in my studies. So I wish to extend a personal thank you to those lecturers behind me, and they know who they are in the languages department, who have been so generous with their time and in sharing their boundless knowledge and wisdom. As I say, I'm sure each of you here could tell a similar story, and it is thanks to people like this that we find ourselves gathered here today. And so, as a result of our hard work, we are given the opportunity to gather here today to receive a rather elegant piece of paper to mount on the wall. This is no way to trivialize or to belittle our achievements that we are celebrating today. Each and every one of the qualifications received today are, in their own way, inestimably valuable. Indeed, given that no previous generation has paid more for the university fees, it would be fair to say that our qualifications are especially valuable. Stop. Nevertheless, given that many of us here today are graduating with so-called non-vocational degrees, I would like to speak a little about that. There is a lot of pressure in this age of high student loans and funding cuts to emerge from our studies with a qualification which readies us for the workforce. Indeed, I think at this formative stage of our lives, it is crucial that we don't think of this as the primary function of university. The experiences that we have had in the years while studying at Victoria are of crucial importance in developing life skills, finding ourselves, and meeting like-minded people. Furthermore, whether or not you have studied with a particular vocation in mind, I cannot stress enough the value of studying what we find interesting and compelling. Accordingly, I can say with full confidence that we are fundamentally better off and ultimately richer thanks to our experiences at university, whether you studied composition or criminology, sociology or Samoan. 3 or 4 years ago, to begin our new lives at university, many of us here may have ventured out with only a bedsheet and a couple of safety pins to preserve our dignity at one of the infamous toga parties. It is therefore appropriate, I think, that we should conclude our university lives dressed in equally silly costumes to commemorate the occasion. Now, it is traditional in these speeches, I think, to conclude on an uplifting quote taken wildly out of context. I would like to quote the great Stephen Fry. "If there was one thing I could beg to be in all my life, it is a student forever. It seems to me the greatest quality one can have is curiosity and the ability to reinvent oneself. That is, basically, to take joy in rediscovering life every day. But I would like to add to this. This curiosity in life, finding pleasure in learning, and the acquisition of knowledge need never end. Even if you may not identify a student as your profession anymore, I urge you always to maintain that joy and always to be a student at heart. Even if you have moved on from tertiary education, it is possible to be a student forever." So, to finish, I would like to invite you now to put your already well-ridden palms together one more time to thank those who have helped us reach this point. To the lecturers, tutors, friends and family who have helped us through this and facilitated the transition from eager-eyed teenager, well, for some of us, to enlightened adult. Please now express your gratitude. Thank you.